we both need to just cut the and recognize the fact that the two of us know why I can't go through with this.
Can you imagine a world where we could sue our exes for wasting our time? Well, for Mariah Carey and her ex, James Packer, they don't have to imagine this scenario. It's their reality. Not only did Mariah sue James for wasting her time, she sued for $50 million and won. In an out-of-court settlement, Mariah was awarded the money. It is claimed that although she did not receive the full $50 million, she was handed over around $5 million. Although several $1 million would be life-changing for the average person, it likely didn't faze the Australian billionaire too much to fork over that large sum of money. According to Forbes, James Packer has a net worth of $2.6 billion. James inherited Crown Resorts from his father, which he sold in 2022. While James might have struck rich with his inheritance and found luck in the business world, he sure struck out with his engagement to Mariah. In 2016, he placed a $10 million engagement ring on her finger, but the next year he took back his promise for forever. Word on the street is that their breakup came after the couple had a huge fight in Greece in September 2016. No one can be sure what the argument between Mariah Carey and James Packer was about, although a rep for Mariah announced that the fight was not because of any cheating allegations or excessive spending by Mariah. Several unidentified insiders also came forward with information pertaining to the fight that ultimately led to James calling it quits. One source claimed that some of Mariah's eccentric ways, including her frivolous spending, put a strain on the relationship. They also said that James' family were not fans of Mariah. But another source sang a different song, claiming that James was mentally unstable. James did admit after their breakup that he had not been in the right place mentally, but it remains unclear if that was one of the major blows to their relationship or not. The burning question on everyone's mind now is, well, who got the ring? Mariah kept the 35-carat diamond ring and still occasionally sports it to this day, although it can be found on her middle finger these days. So how exactly did Mariah justify filing a lawsuit with her ex for wasting her time? Well, Mariah moved her family from New York to Los Angeles to be with James Packer. She claimed that uprooting and relocating her family caused her emotional turmoil as well as stress. She reportedly had to cancel some of her dates on her South American tour in order to accommodate the move. She also wanted money to help ease the severe pain she was in from the heartbreak that came from her failed engagement. After the split, she chose to seek an inconvenience fee from her ex-fiance. Allegedly, the $50 million price tag was a number that had been discussed in their prenup negotiations. Mariah also claimed that James had made various financial promises to her while they were together. This was factored into her lawsuit because without the relationship, she also lost out on those opportunities and financial gains. Mariah Carey really seemed to get the last laugh in this relationship. Not only did she get the ring and file a $50 million lawsuit, but she had even more up her sleeve to dish out to James Packer. You know what they say, there is nothing like a woman scorned, and Mariah was just that. She also managed to stick it to James in her memoir, The Meaning of Mariah Carey. The book highlighted the ups and downs, the triumphs and traumas, the debacles and the dreams of her life. Fans who read the book noticed immediately that something, actually someone, was missing. Mariah didn't even mention James in the slightest. That's right. When writing her life story, she omitted anything that had to do with the billionaire who she once had planned to spend forever with. When asked about his absence from the pages of her memoir, Mariah said, "If it was a relationship that mattered, it's in the book. If not, it didn't occur." Yikes! Talk about a burn. To make matters even more intriguing, she stated that they never had a physical relationship. Does this mean that they never touched at all, or simply that it wasn't enjoyable when they did? Either way, that's a giant bombshell to drop. She did include several of her other past relationships, including her first marriage to music executive Tommy Mottola and her second marriage to Nick Cannon, with whom she shares children with. How embarrassing would that be to have your ex-fiancé write a book about every juicy detail of their life, but not even mention your name? Some people have called this a power move. Some people have called it a petty move, and others whisper that maybe there is something else that factors into the equation. It is possible that Mariah had to sign some form of non-disclosure agreement preventing her from revealing any details surrounding their relationship. It looks like we have a lot of questions that will probably always be unanswered when it comes to Mariah and James. So what did James have to say about their relationship? Although he's a billionaire, he is fairly private and does not like the limelight. Maybe that was a contributing factor to the failure of his relationship with a world-famous entertainer. In 2017, James released a statement about their relationship. He stated, "I was at a low point in my personal life. She was kind, exciting, and fun. Mariah is a woman of substance. She is very bright, but it was a mistake for her and a mistake for me. James did include Mariah in his own memoir called The Price of Fortune, the untold story of being James Packer. In his book about his life, James had said that their relationship had been fun to begin with. Wherever we went, we were on the top table, and that was because of her, not me. She was kind and took an interest in my life. Did you catch the part where he said, that was because of her, not me? Maybe that mark is meant to show humility, or maybe it was dripping with jealousy. It's even possible that it's a combination of both. Either way, it seems obvious that these two mega-rich and famous people traveled at different speeds, ultimately making them incompatible. These days, Mariah is dating Brian Tanaka. In March, he posted a special tribute to his girlfriend for her anniversary, which is what Mariah refers to birthdays as. He posted a black and white flick of the two of them together smiling, and referred to her as his beautiful queen. Brian is a choreographer as well as a creative director. He and Mariah have worked together since 2006, when he was a backup dancer on Mariah's Adventures of Mimi tour. After Mariah and James split, her and Brian's relationship took a step beyond being a working relationship and became a romantic relationship instead. The two jumped into their romance in 2016, mere months after Mariah and James broke off their engagement. Mariah and Brian made things Instagram official in February 2017. In fact, there are allegations that James was jealous of Brian during the entire time he was with Mariah. There are even reports that Brian showed up to one of Mariah's Las Vegas shows while injured and unable to perform as a backup dancer, and James had him thrown out of the Caesars Palace. Sources say that Brian is incredibly kind towards Mariah's children and is constantly doting on her. It is also said that she is very happy and satisfied with her relationship. Mariah and Brian have definitely had a bond for nearly 2 decades now, and he understands her work and shares her passion for it. He was included in her group of friends that she stepped out with for her first public outing in Malibu at the end of October, after her and James split. By Thanksgiving weekend, the pair were seen having some passionate PDA sessions on the beach. Hopefully, Mariah and Brian continue finding happiness in their relationship, or else one of them just might find themselves being charged an inconvenience fee as well. Leave a comment below, and if you enjoyed our video, give it a like and subscribe. See you next time.